All right, we begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, so welcome to the second review of the week on this very, very busy occasion. Um, and we are recording this on E3 week. It's the beginning portion, so we just went through the Microsoft conference. We've got Sony tomorrow, and that's not even the stuff we can't get to because of time constraints.
Mm-hmm.
Like in a few hours, we're gonna have Bethesda, and I've already heard of some stuff that's going to be interesting. Like, apparently, Wolfenstein 2 is going to be there. The Enemy Within 2 is going to be there. Like, uh, forward to that. Anyway, so our second game today is Zombidle Remonstered. Like, it was released a couple weeks ago by an outfit called Berserk Studio. Trying to remember. I think they're Scandinavian, but I know they're European. Like,
They're Swedish, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what I thought. They're Swedish. And
that said, this game has been around for a while, just not on Steam, maybe?
Yeah, well, it's been on iOS and Android for a while, and it came to Steam on May 30th. Which is why the PR rep sent me the press materials not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And asked if we could review this game. It's free to play, so I said, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And so, as the name might belie, the first one there is Zombidle. It's a clicker game.
It's a game where you get progress even while you are idle.
Yes. I think the last clicker game we reviewed was Plantera last year.
And this is a very different kind of clicker game than Plantera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is actually a much more conventional. When you think of a clicker game, this is kind of what you're thinking of, kind of deal. Like this is kind of more cut from, say, Clash of Clans. In a lot of senses. Like, first of all, you don't have to pay money to play the game. But and I suppose that sets up the preeminent question: what do you have to pay for? Because clicker games are really infamous for being money sinks.
Mm-hmm. The premium currency in this game is diamonds. Mm-hmm. There are ways to get diamonds in game, actually. They will spawn very rarely at random when you blow up a dude or a house, which is the things you do in this game is you blow up dudes and houses. Because you're an evil necromancer.
Yes.
Named Bob.
Yes, and you can get some for free for doing things like watching demo videos and following them on Facebook and Twitter and stuff.
Yeah.
But and with those, like, after playing for a reasonable amount of time, I have 20-something diamonds. You can use these for like temporary significant buffs.
And more permanent buffs.
That's what I was about to say. But also there is a entire section called Hell, because you are an evil necromancer and part of the gameplay is making deals with devils.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to Hell, there are buildings in Hell that you can buy that significantly boost you, but those cost like dozens or hundreds of diamonds, which you're not going to get in any time soon just by casually playing the game.
That's actually not necessarily the case because the biggest way you're going to collect diamonds is through deals with succubi. Like
Mm-hmm.
every so often, a succubi will show up and offer you um, a prize. It can be 5 diamonds. It could be skulls. Skulls is the non-premium currency, which you use to upgrade all your forces. Um, or
Well, one of them.
yeah, it's like 4x damage for like a minute, something like that.
4 times
And those
skulls.
require yeah, those require the either the other premium currency, bloodstones, or just a blood sacrifice. I'm like,
Yeah,
the
I
blood,
wouldn't. That's not a premium currency per se. What the way the blood works is you have.
it is a premium currency because I'm looking at the premium currency package here,
Yeah.
Oh
and
yeah,
it's
you
like
get
they're
bloodstones when you buy diamonds.
yes, you buy them both. So, and let's just get this out of the way. What you buy is actually pretty reasonable, especially for a. I suppose that's the kind of the overriding theme of this clicker game. It's shockingly reasonable for a game of its type.
The most expensive actual pack is like what, like
$50.
50
Like,
bucks for like 1,000 diamonds and a butt ton of bloodstones.
yeah, 1,000 diamonds and 60 bloodstones. Let me tell
There is
you,
actually a joke package which is $750,000 and your eternal soul for like 1,000,000 bloodstones and 1,000,000 diamonds or something, but that's a joke.
500,000 diamonds, 2 sandwiches,
5
and
sandwiches,
yeah.
2 tickets to a Slain Dion concert. Yeah. But like, if you want a small boost, it's only like $2. Like, smallest is $2. 15 diamonds, 20 bloodstones. Like, I'll be, you know,
You
these
d- and
diamonds.
you can get bloodstones sometimes for things too. This morning there was a update podcast that I put out, and you could get 5 bloodstones by saying you watch it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the bloodstones are the way it works is when you get a deal with the succubus, you can pay with your blood, which you can only carry up to 2 blood in your body, and it regenerates at like I think it's like 5 or 15 minutes for the first one and like 20 minutes for the second one.
Something like that.
But if you're out of blood, you can spend bloodstones, which you start with 50 of, and you can buy more of with money or get more of some other ways.
Something like that. I'm like,
this is also one of those games that's. It reminds me of a game I played once called Swarm Simulator, which I'm sure this is very common. Where at a certain point in the game, what you're expected to do is reset your world progress.
Mm-hmm.
You still keep all of the quote-unquote achievements you've unlocked, but all of the undead army or monster army you've built up goes away, and the areas you've conquered go away.
And your personal upgrades go away, like.
And your personal, yeah.
Yeah.
In order to start from zero and be able to get through what you already had gone through much faster. Plus, you get some upgrades, and there's a thing when you're fighting a boss, which happens every 5 or 10 levels, which each level is composed of defeating 10 buildings. Sometimes the bosses have white orbs, and when you beat them, the white orbs fall to the ground and break. But when you use a time portal to go back in time to the beginning of the game, all of those white orbs that you have will be restored into their full thing, and then all of the white orbs you have, each one increases all of your damage by, is it 5%?
5%, yes.
5%, yeah.
So because I have 197 orbs on my thing, I have over 900% DPS increase.
And this is a game where it's a game that's good for people who like big numbers, because the highest achievements are for having your DPS, or I forget if it's DPS or level, but getting something over like 5 quintillion.
DPS.
Yeah, getting your DPS over 5 quintillion. It's good for people who like really big numbers.
Well, I mean, that's how it follows the conventions of your mobile clicker games. It's
Hmm.
endless bars, endless progression, endless building, and all that stuff.
Hmm.
That being that being said, so actually clicking on things does help.
Hmm.
Like you will increase your damage, your DPS.
It is nice that you don't actually have to click. You can put your mouse over it and then just like hammer on the keyboard on multiple different keys, and that'll be faster than clicking.
Yeah, I kind of have a little cheat because I have like typing macros set up on my keyboard, so I can just kind of bump a key and it'll type really fast. Because I'm a little cheater.
Yeah.
That said, there's also an upgrade. One of the random items you can get is things that increase damage while Bob is sleeping, which if you stop playing for more than a few minutes, Bob just starts snoring.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's also one that skulls are worth more.
Mm-hmm.
It's just yeah, the most efficient way to play this game after a while is going to be um, uh, not even letting it stay idle. It's actually closing the game, then
Mhm.
checking in a couple hours later.
Yeah,
Then
like
you'll have
what
know,
I
Yeah,
usually did
and
is I played till I needed to reset before I went to bed, got to a point where it can just kind of coast, and then went to bed and did the process again.
and this is a game that what was I gonna say? Oh yeah,
I'm not.
unlike Plantera, I don't know how common this is. This is a game that does not have a limitation on how long it will keep going while the game is closed. It'll keep going, I think, forever.
Yeah.
And also, it's apparently cross-platform compatible to cell phones and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
So,
it
like, you
got
could save on your thing, and you'll have like a ID number, and then you can like link it on your phone and pick it up on the phone later or whatever.
Hmm.
yeah.
Which that is kind of nice.
There's also a pretty robust wiki for this game, I think.
Mm.
It's not complete perfect, but there's a wiki that talks about what all the different kinds of upgrades are, because there are quite a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the costs in this game are all they increment by like powers of 10. Like regular zombies start costing like 10 skulls to upgrade, and then the next one costs hundreds of skulls, and then the next one costs thousands, and then the next one costs tens of thousands.
Also, you do get cooldowns, kind of.
Yeah, this is a thing that I didn't realize right away. When you upgrade your things, you will unlock little things under them that are available at level 10, 25, 50, and 100.
Hmm.
But you have to click on those things and buy them to get them. You do not get them automatically at those levels. And some of those are cooldown abilities, like one for the one for the blue spirit at level like 50 or something. Um, you get a cooldown ability that increases its DPS by 400% for 90 seconds, which is really great for boss fights.
I think it's 50% for 90 seconds, and it's at 25, but
No,
still, that's not bad.
and there's one that increases the value of skulls for a while.
Yeah.
And one of the ones for Bob the Necromancer is a auto click for a while.
5 seconds. On like a 5-minute cooldown, which, But you can also still click during the auto click, so you can be over there braying on your keyboard while the auto click is going and essentially be doing double if you're fast enough.
I wasn't sure about that. I never used that one.
Oh, it'll work.
Hmm.
I've used the increasing the mostly I use the increasing the blue spirits one for boss fights.
Mm.
Now, let's talk about the aesthetics of the game. They are,
Pretty simple cartoony, I thought.
yeah, it's like, um, they're. This is a teen-rated game. I'm not sure if it has an actual ESRB rating, but I got an achievement for that. Like, it's, it's cartoony, but it's also kind of violent. And
Well, yeah, you're a necromancer who's blowing up buildings and summoning zombies to blow up buildings, and then when people run out of the buildings on fire, you blow them up too to get more skulls.
well, it's also the religiously sensitive probably are going to hate this game because, well, there's a big old pentagram that shows
Oh
up.
yeah, when you make a deal with the devil and you get the
Yeah, you were making literal pacts with the devil.
Yeah, and you got the you've got the upside down pentagram sigil of Satan going on here. I mean,
You actually go to hell. I don't think the religious, sensitive are gonna like this game.
I was about to say you buy properties in hell.
Yeah.
and it's accompanied by one hard rock riff. That I'll be honest, I muted after a while because, well, much like
there's no significant
Same.
downside to turning the music off.
it's just because it's that one track that goes on ad infinitum.
It's not even a very long loop.
At least it loops, unlike our last game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In that sense, it's like Plantera. Plantera had the one track that was, rather relaxing, but just it's like 8-bit music. It's music that just goes on and on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
Though, that being said, I actually like this game. To the point I can enjoy a clicker game. Like,
yeah.
I'll be honest, I find.
I guess we should mention kind of the funny thing that happens when you get the cell phone item, where basically
How do you get that?
you just
you
keep
have to,
playing.
Well, actually, you have to go to a specific location and complete a challenge to get it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and basically the developers make fun of microtransactions and social and liking on social media for stuff.
I got that way before I got on a cell phone item.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like it does.
Instead of a deal with the devil, it's a deal with the developer, which says, "Care to spam all of your friends on Facebook to gain such and such a thing?"
Yeah, I'm like,
and then you say you click no, and the sign falls off, and then you click yes, and then another developer comes over and punches that developer and says, "That's stupid. Here's your reward." Games should not spam people on Facebook.
Yes. So clearly, the devs have a sense of humor, and like I said, this is in terms of purchase and accessibility and all that. It's about the best clicker I've played.
Yeah, it's also you don't have to put any money in this at all, unlike some clickers where eventually you'll hit a wall where if you want to progress in a reasonable amount of time, you need to put something in it.
Yeah, and it's also you don't have to pay for energy. Like there's no time limiters in this one.
Yeah, like if
the
you
closest
don't
thing to that's the bloodstones.
Yeah, and those aren't like required things. And you can also, if you don't have any blood, you can just hold the deal indefinitely.
Pretty much.
Until your blood comes back. So there's
kind of, although once you can see what a deal is, you have to decide immediately, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't just back out and save that for later.
Yeah.
Which gets really annoying the third time you've tried to save up a deal for a boss fight and hope that it's one of those ×2 damage for a little while ones, and it turns out to be yet again extra skulls for a while.
That's still really good after a boss because they drop a lot of skulls.
Yeah, it is, but it doesn't help you beat the boss. Because the way it happens is when you get to a boss and can't beat it, you just keep breaking down buildings at that same level, regaining skulls that you can use to upgrade until you can at any time choose to fight the boss again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which, in a way, that's kind of more for the idle mode, because bosses will still come up when you're idle. It's just, if you have enough DPS to beat them, your group will beat them. If not, they'll just keep looping that same stage.
Yeah, and for a long time, I was just beating them pretty much automatically, although then I got to a point where I started to need to wait a little bit.
Yeah, or you could
But
have
I
just
also have- I only
restarted
have-
and took your white orbs to increase your DPS.
Yeah, I only have 9 hours on this game. I haven't
Yeah.
played it
And-
that much.
Yeah, it's like, and the main way you get white orbs are like breaking items,
Mm-hmm.
and the main
Yeah, that's
way
another-
is
You get broken white orbs from bosses every once in a while.
Mhm.
And the number of those you get varies, and you can get power-ups that increase that number. But also you can get whole white orbs, I believe, by sacrificing some of the items you get when you find treasure chests or whatever.
Mhm.
Although the unique items you get from challenges can't be broken.
Yeah, for obvious reasons.
And you do keep your items when you restart time.
So, like, if you have a cool item that makes skulls worth more, you'll keep that.
Mm-hmm.
and the other way is through the time portal, like
Mhm.
which is basically resetting your game.
Which again, the point of that is that you can get through the beginning parts very much more quickly and get to where you were with stronger forces than you had the first time you got there.
Yes. So yeah, all in all, I was kind of shocked by this. You know, I admit I wasn't expecting much because it's not just a clicker game; it's a free-to-play clicker.
Yeah.
Like,
Usually
yeah.
these are kind of money grubbing.
That's being
Yeah,
nice.
this one has an option for money but doesn't push it, which is sort of even more impressive than Plantera, which was there is no money option.
Yeah, Plantera was honestly kind of an odd clicker game because, first of all, you had to pay money for it. Wasn't much, but you didn't you paid it all up front.
Mm-hmm.
You know, instead of here the initial slice is open, but you're going to reach the point where everything's going to drag, and you're going to have to start paying if you want to actually get anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Or reset a whole lot.
So yeah, I'd say this is a solid effort. My recommendation can only go so far because it is a clicker game, and it's something that you open up for a little bit, you fiddle around with. Maybe you actually click something, maybe you don't, then you close it again. And you keep doing that until you tire of the whole enterprise. How much of that you enjoy is kind of up to you.
Yep.
So, final thoughts from the crew here?
It's
I
not
thought it
the
was
worst
pretty-
game we've played this week.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty inoffensive, which is saying something because I find the idea of clicker games slightly offensive. So
Yeah.
Surprisingly enjoyable and kind of addicting.
All right. So that'll about do it for the review session. But we have a lot planned for this week because, well, I mean, for us in the gaming industry, this is the biggest week.
This is our Christmas.
Yeah. Well, it's like this is more Christmas retail.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like it'd be even worse if we were getting paid for this shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I have a lot. I have a lot of stuff to do anyway because I have to try to get my car fixed, and I have to be working on preparations for my friend's wedding and the con that's the week after.
Yeah.
So-
Anyway, so ours, like, there's going to be a lot of events between this and our next covered event. So our plans this year are, well, basically the big three conferences. We would be covering Bethesda if it were starting now, like it did last year, instead of midnight. Like,
Yeah, especially if it's going to be anywhere near as long as the Microsoft one.
yeah. I'm like, so, and people have to get up, go to work, do things tomorrow. So stuff like Ubisoft is out. So we're going to be covering Sony tomorrow at 8. And then Tuesday, Nintendo has their spotlight at 12.